What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking to a gentleman who will be stepping into the Bellator cage. Like Michael C. Williams says, literally next Thursday, a week from today, he's the Curtious one, Curtis Millender. Curtis, what's going on, my man?
Not much, man. Ready to go beat up Joe.
Yeah, so this one, I love as a fight fan, I love, right? But this kind of hits me like, Gabe Green versus Daniel Rodriguez or Ryan Lilly versus Albert Morales. Where like, as a fight fan, I know this shit's gonna be fire. As a friend of both parties involved, I'm like, ah!
I've been in those situations too, but I'll find some way to be a little biased.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I would think at this point of the game, if you're rooting for Joe, nah, I don't know. I don't know.
It's crazy just because I'm sure he doesn't like remember like the history or why I asked for the fight because he was who he was when everything went down. But it sounds like he's like a little nervous about it, like just the things I'm hearing and the things I'm seeing. Because
No.
this is the third time we've been scheduled this year, so.
Wow. Yeah, I remember kind of. I mean, things are fuzzy. Things are super fuzzy, but I do remember some kind of inclination of you two fighting, and I was just like, that's cool. Then the COVID and all that jazz. But again, I mean, and for those who don't know, the Schilling, the Joe that we're referencing is none other than probably one of the greatest American Muay Thai prospects that America has ever produced. Not name the Rufus brothers.
Cunningham, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. It's like can't stop crazy. Can't stop crazy. It's Joe Schilling, right? And this is a cool fight. Now, once it was first announced, kind of, in your radar, what did you think? Like, what were your ideologies about how this fight could go?
I asked for this fight. I went to Rich literally the day after I got my release. The day after I got my release from the UFC, I went to Rich like, "Yo, I want to fight Joe. Like, I'm free agent. Let me fight Joe." And he's like, "Yo, I like that fight," and he made it happen. And so we were supposed to fight January's card at the Forum. I fell through for whatever reason. Now I know Joe ain't no punk. He's fought the best of the best. So for whatever reason he pulled out. He pulled out. I don't hold it against him. The second time was because of COVID when we got rescheduled. I believe it was for May. We got rescheduled. It was COVID, and then this last time they brought him up. He said, "Yeah, something happened. I had to fight Tony Johnson. Something happened with him in the fight Sabah."
So, does it mean a little bit more, especially now this is the third time around? And again, it mitigating circumstances, right? And those, especially now, so more than ever, happen, right? Especially this year. But are you a little bit more fired up and ready for this fight than you were in January or May?
Yeah, I'm still super excited about it. I'm still so excited about it just because, like, regardless, even if it wasn't going to happen this year, as whenever it would happen, I would have been as excited about it. It's man, it's just one that's been so long. So I've been wanting to fight him for like 6 years. So
Wow. And I
so
mean, and shout out to Bellator's Rich too, for setting this up. But I mean, did you were talking about, your release from the UFC, and I mean the last time that we talked, you kind of felt that it was coming, right? So I mean, was that just you kind of like putting your feet to the ground and seeing like what else is out there, and especially inking the deal with Bellator? Like, I'm I want this fight. Like, what intrigued you as a fighter, as a consummate mixed martial artist, that this would be the cool fight for you?
I knew they would pay me. Like outside the UFC, if you're not fighting a Bellator, you're really not gonna make the money. And just from coming from what I was making in the UFC, then going back to making like the local money at like LFA or CFX or anything, like I couldn't do it. My lifestyle had already changed, so I couldn't go back to that. So like I said, Joe Schilling popped into my head because I have a history and I've wanted that fight for a long time. I knew, like, I matchmake. I'm a matchmaker, so I'm always I can make my own opportunities as well. So yeah, like that was just one I wanted from way back in the Rain days. He came into Rain years ago when Rain was still there, and I didn't know who he was. So I think I was really green too. I had probably 2 or 3 fights, and spar with him, did a couple rounds with him, and fucking dogged me out. It was bad. It was bad. I was frustrated. It was crying and shit. I was mad, like a frustrated cry, not no boo-hoo cry. And I she got home, told like the rest of my team, and told my girl, told my coaches, and but I didn't know who he was, so it was hard for me to describe who he was. And probably about a year after that, I went to the Glory show and at the Forum, and I'm with my striking coach, and he comes out to fight Simon Marcus. I'm like, yo, that's the fucking dude that beat me up. And he was like, oh, that's Joe Schilling, dude. He's like, number one kickboxer on the fucking planet. I was like, oh, okay. That's how it makes sense. But he owed me some smoke after that. I'm holding a grudge. I'm gonna be real petty and hold a grudge.
But it's those things, right? That kind of make you. I mean, it's much like your coach Ben Jones, who we had on here earlier this week. He stepped into Paulson's, and there was this one guy who just like got the better of him in every sense of the imagination, and then dude came back years later. And Ben Jones has had that smoke, as the kids say, and the rest is history. So I kind of understand not just why you personally, but your entire team there at CSW have the mentality that you do, because I mean, look at Eric Paulson, look at Ben Jones. I'm just saying.
Yep, exactly. And I love to have that. I like, Ben has been lighting that fire under me for these last 4 or 5 years that I've been with him. So anything I can pick up from him is I'm always going to take it and run with it.
No, 100%. And Jesse Velasquez says this is a great matchup, a battle of some of the highest level strikers in MMA. It's going to be fire, and it's not petty; it's just competitive.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, and Jesse is a you, you've probably done some rounds with Jesse. He's a IFS champion, the same belt that Ben Jones has, and he trains at Fight Academy with Savant Young and the rest of the gang.
Probably haven't.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, obviously this kind of COVID kind of happened, right? But what did it do to you? I mean, especially the fights that you've had this year, and then because you've already done the whole COVID kind of era fighting, right? You've had a match under the circumstances, but like, what did you? The moment that you kind of were away from it and it was taken away from you, not just your fighting career itself, but also your matchmaker for Fight Club OC, like that went away, like all of it went away. Did it make you realize how much you loved what you were doing pre-COVID even more?
I always have a very, very deep appreciation for this fight game. Like this is the fighting is the love of my life. This is first for me. I put it ahead of everything. So it definitely sucked when it was just up in the air, like, oh, what's gonna happen? When are we gonna fight? I feel worse for even like my teammates. Like, I'm the old guy at the gym now. I'm one of the older guys. So, outside of me and Jake and Jackie, nobody else is at the level where they're gonna get fights at this time. So I just feel for them, like, especially we have like 3 or 4 guys that were just ready to go pro, and uh man, it's just that this whole derailment. It's like they're on pause. But the dope thing about us is that Ben Jones is running us like crazy, and we're still grinding. Like, we got fights tomorrow. So if the other gyms ain't training like we training, yo, we sending some dudes after you.
Yeah, no. I mean, there ain't no party like a CSW party, and a CSW party just fucking cranks everything. And
Here,
and Jesse says, "Yep, we've sparred a few times at Fight Academy. You're a beast. Hit me with some stuff that I use now." So there you go.
you're welcome. That's all in being a martial artist. I take from you, you take from me, and go and apply it.
Yeah, man. So I gotta ask. So next Thursday, right? How good is it going to feel to step back into the Bellator cage and against the opponent that you again have sought after for the last? I mean, as long as you've been at CSW.
It's gonna feel good just to finally get there and fight him. Yes. I'm waiting to fuck him up for a long time. So, I'm just excited. I'm like kind of lost for words. It's like this is the closest we've been. So I don't think anything's gonna happen. We're gonna make it. Knock on wood. But yeah,
I'm wood. So
just ready to
there
go
you
in
go.
there. I'm ready to go in there and beat him up. He's him and his guys have been throwing some little shots here and there. So
No, I mean it happens. It's kind of the fight game, but also you got to know when this fight happens next Thursday. This is the best Joe Schilling that has been. I mean the yard is not too far from where I'm at right now, and I remember the last time that I went there. It was Schilling, D Rod, Daniel Rodriguez, Yves Edwards, and Mickey Gall. Right, so there's where there hasn't been before. There's grappling going down at the yard. So, I mean, this is the most complete Joe Schilling that one could face, and you're facing him in the Bellator cage. That's gotta feel good.
yeah, it's gonna be good. I get a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's gonna be a great matchup," but we all know it's been proven over and over again. Once I start, showing off the speed and the power, they turn into wrestlers. Everybody does. So I've made a wrestler out of every fight, everybody I've ever fought. So it's just time to change the narrative. I got to stop having so much patience on the ground. I have to create a sense of urgency and get up. Even with that last one, every time I got taken down, just gave him too much time on the top. He didn't really throw anything or land anything, but since he was on top, he gets around. But every time I got up and went for something, I did it when I was ready. So I just need to be ready as soon as we hit the ground.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. Now, obviously, there have been a litany of people that have helped you prepare for the Bellator cage next week. So let's get some acknowledgments and shout outs out of the way, my man.
Um, First and foremost, kind of had a personnel change. I brought in Chris Cully, which is
Urban
going to be
legend.
really dope. Yeah, it's going to be really dope. The stuff he's been working with me and showing me is very, very beneficial, and especially just putting his mind with Uchenna's mind is just it's been great. Of course, Ben Jones, Eric Paulson, everybody over at CSW, all the guys pushing me. Lucius Smith of the strength conditioning. Uh, so he's trying to get these shoulders stronger so I can put some volume in these punches. So, but everybody, like I say, every time, everybody who's ever given me a ride to the gym, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And tune in next Thursday, CBS Sports.
Damn right. Now, for those who haven't already done so, where can they find Curtis Millender on social media?
On Instagram, Curtious Curtis 170, Twitter, Curtious Curtis, and Snapchat, Curtious Curtis 1. I'm not
Number
one punch.
Hey, you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you one iota because I'm a
See?
forever white belt. So, man, talk about getting these hands. Nope, that's why I do exactly this, man. No, but Curtis, all good skill come Thursday night, next Thursday night. And again, if you guys haven't already done so, CBS Sports Network is where it's going down for Bellator MMA, and I can't wait. He can't wait. And thank you guys for joining us. This has been According to Woods with the courteous one, Curtis Millender, and we are out.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang.